Alright, what up chunkuses? When I was younger, I always believed that I was just an average student. So from the time I started school till about 15 years old, I was getting okay grades, not like very good, but not very bad either. I was like the middle of the pack kind of kid. I have weaknesses, I have strengths, and I think everyone in school, including you, have the same sort of beliefs. And the thing is, your life will pretty much always follow where your belief goes. There's so many students that don't even believe they can do better. They don't even believe that they can improve their grades. They don't even believe that they can get straight A's, and so they just never do it. But the thing is, I can't even blame most people when it comes to their beliefs, because their beliefs are just formed from experiences that they've had. And so imagine from age 1 to age 16, you've always got bad grades. If you had 1 year from age 16 to 17 where you got really good grades, the ratio is still 16 to 1. Which one are you going to believe? Probably the one that has way more, right? That's the thing you're going to believe about yourself. And so this is why your beliefs are so hard to change. And so imagine your mind like a weighing system. You have 16 rocks on one side and 1 on the other side. Which side is going to be weighed down? Obviously this, right? And so that belief keeps them stuck there forever. Then at just 16 years old, I decided, okay, you know what? What if I just believed that I could? And so I started telling myself I was a straight A student, even though I had never done it before. And that's when I got my perfect score for my GCSEs. That's when I topped my entire class. That's when I actually broke through and achieved what I could achieve. So that made me realize, oh, we question all the beliefs except the ones that we really believe, because those are the ones that we never think to question. My experience. So for most of my life, the way I function is experiences shape beliefs, meaning you experience something, you learn from it, and that becomes a new belief, right? So if you touch a hot stove, you will believe that you shouldn't do that ever again because it's painful, right? All these little experiences that culminate in all the hundreds, maybe thousands of the beliefs that we all have. But then I realized it can also be the opposite way. You can have your beliefs shape your experiences. Meaning if you believe something different, you can change your experiences to match whatever you see fit. Basically, the Lulu is the Sululu. But the thing is, success in not just grades but in pretty much anything takes a little bit of crazy. Because there's 2 types of crazy that you can have. Either you have no success right now, and you continue to do the actions that will lead to success, even though you have no success, which is kind of crazy, right? Because you have no proof before that this would ever work. Or you have no success, you don't believe you can be successful, and then you still do it anyway. That's also kind of crazy because you don't even believe you can be successful. Imagine go up to a guy that's constantly doing push-ups and you ask him like, do you believe you can be fit? And he says no. Then it's like, okay, why are you doing push-ups? He seems kind of weird, right? So there's 2 types of delusion. Either you delude yourself because you don't believe you can do it, but you still do the actions, or you delude yourself to only believe that you can do it. You believe so strongly that you can be successful, even though you've never done it before. And so I've seen so many students stay stuck, not even start, or not make much progress not because of what they actually do, but because of what they tell themselves and the stories they keep repeating in their head that are just not true. And even if they are true, you can still change the story. And so because they repeat the story so many times, it's like they've hit the nail over and over and over again that it's so deep inside that you can't remove the nail anymore. And so it becomes so integral to who they are. And so if you try to attack that limiting belief, it's who they are. So you're basically attacking them as a person. Like if I told you right now, you can actually get straight A's. There's nothing stopping you. Some people watching, maybe not you, but some people watching will be like, no, I can't. Like I've never done that before. You feel like it's attacking you as a person. You feel so opposed to it because you want to keep this belief alive because it's been with you for so long. But if you want to become the 2.0 version of yourself, you need to get rid of the 1.0 beliefs. And so now let's not use beliefs. Let's just talk about straight logic, right? Let's cut through everything with just logic. Logically, if you actually break it down to step-by-step, day-by-day actions, pretty much anyone can get straight A's. If you really think about it, anyone can pretty much get straight A's. So what do you actually need to do to get straight A's? Well, let's say you have 6 months till your math exam. And right now you're getting a really bad grade. You're getting 10% and you want to get up to like a 90%. This might seem impossible. The thing is, 6 months is 182 days. That means you need like a 1% increase every 2-3 days. That's it. So let's say every single day you sit down and do 2 study cycles for math. If you don't know what it is, you can go check my other videos. I explain what a study cycle is. And so 2 study cycles a day, you just need to get like a 0.5% increase per study cycle. So every time you do a practice paper, you just need to aim to do 0.5% better than the previous one. And you do it every day for 6 months. And if you do that, the math will work out and you'll get to the score that you want. So the thing is, fear and doubt are what kills more dreams than failure itself. And so when it comes to something like this, even at the worst starting point, you can still get up to your dream grade simply by making a simple plan like this. And so when you say, oh, exams are in 6 months and I'm failing, it's really anxious. It makes you feel really bad. But if you just say, okay, I need to do a practice paper once or twice a day, and every single 2 days, I need to make sure that I increase by 1%. If I just said that to you, you'll be like, oh, okay. And so being vague is where the fear comes from. But when you're specific, when you get down to exactly what you need to do on a day-to-day basis, it becomes really easy. So when I wrote my own version of this for myself during my exams, I realized that if I can do it, then pretty much anyone can do it. Because even from the worst starting point, you can still get up to a pretty good score. And so straight A's is not off the table for pretty much anyone. And so the mindset that I had was action and anxiety are inversely correlated. So if one goes up, the other one goes down. So the more action you do, the less anxiety. The less action you do, the more anxiety you have. And so at the end of the day, I could just focus on action and not care about my past disadvantages, my past whatever. Because let's say you have all of these advantages. Let's say when I was young, I was genuinely not good at math. I had a really strict math teacher that discouraged me, this and that. And so people use those disadvantages, those trauma, those bad things that happen in order to justify why they're not successful now. So anytime someone says that and they give me a list of reasons why they can't be successful, I just look at them and think, yep, you're right. You'll never be successful. And whenever you say that, it's like they completely break down and like, oi, that's not what I expected. And so it's because they're prioritizing being right over being successful, right? They want to feel right. They want to feel validated. And so the moment I give them that validation, just say, yeah, you're right. Okay, you will never be successful. They realize like, yeah, they're right, but they also still want to be successful. And so if you want to win anyway, then you may as well just forget about those disadvantages to begin with. You can be right or you can win. It's up to you. It's your choice. But a simple visualization that I like is to look at someone who has it worse than you, who came from a worse starting point, who still made it. And there are a lot of people who have done that. There are people from third world countries, there are people that were homeless, there are people that were millions of dollars in debt and still became successful. And so if you can just find one example that shows that they could do it, then so can you. Because they're not coming from the same starting point, they're coming from a worse starting point. So I like this phrase, which is don't reject yourself. At least give it your best shot, go all in, try it at first, and then let the actual results reject you. When you get the results and it's not the straight A's, okay, let that reject you. But before that happens, don't reject yourself and say, I can't do it. And so when I thought, okay, I'm actually genuinely gonna try, I sat down for hours a day, I continued to study, I tried to optimize my health, I got rid of as many distractions as possible, I quit all my addictions. And so when I got my straight A's at the end of the year, I didn't look back with pride, or I didn't look back with happiness. I actually looked back like kind of disappointed. Like, bro, I could have done this whole time. Instead of my final year being the one that I got straight A's, I could have gone straight A's every year. But it was just that one belief that kept me stuck. So after that moment, I did this action step, which I don't know if you can do, but you can try it out. Just write down all your beliefs. It might take a whole afternoon, it might take a whole day, but really write down everything you genuinely believe about the world, about yourself, and then analyze each one and ask yourself, is this true? Is this factually true? Is it factually true that I literally, from the laws of thermodynamics, I cannot get straight A's? No, right? Because there's someone who is worse than me who could do it in a shorter time span, or when he started broke and poor and his family was worse than mine or whatever, and he still got straight A's. Okay, then I can do it. And so once you cross that belief out on the list, you go to the next one and the next one, and you realize that a lot of them are simply not true. And then that makes you limitless. It makes you pretty much free to do whatever you want without judgment from yourself, because these beliefs are basically you being both the prison guard and the prisoner. And then you'll be asking yourself, why didn't I just set those big goals to begin with, right? And so there's this fallacy where people think, oh, the big goals are too competitive, so it's too hard to get it, so I'll just settle for the easier goal, the simple goal, straight B's instead of straight A's. The thing is, if you think that, and then everyone thinks that, then actually the straight B's become the more competitive goal because more people want it. Does it make sense? So the example that I like is, imagine a 10 out of 10 super pretty girl. She's super attractive, and a lot of guys will look at her and think, oh, she probably gets approached a lot, she gets a lot of compliments, so I won't compliment her, I won't go talk to her because she's out of my league. So what do they do instead? They go up to the 6 or the 7 out of 10 girl. I'm just using numbers so that we can kind of understand, right? Because they think that they can get her. They go and approach girls who are at their level pretty much. But the thing is, because all the guys are thinking that, because all the guys don't approach the really pretty girl because they think she gets approached all the time, the reality is she doesn't get approached at all because she's too intimidating, right? And so one random guy just deludes himself and just goes up to her. He's not even that handsome, he's not even that successful, but he just strikes up a conversation. He's just kind, he compliments her, and because she doesn't get complimented a lot, that compliment means a lot. And then he gets her number or whatever, but simply he got the higher goal just by trying, because no one even goes for the higher goals to begin with. And so why not set the goal for the 10 out of 10 grades? The thing is, more people want it, but less people are actually competing for it. There's a difference. Pretty much everyone in your class will want the 10 out of 10 grades, but maybe only 1 or 2 of the students in your class are actually competing for it. You can probably picture them in your head already. They're like the top students, they're actually working hard for it. But you just narrowed down your competition from every student in your class down to like 2. And now you just have to beat them and you're at the top already. So when you set higher goals, it's kind of like climbing higher on a mountain, where the higher you go, the thinner the air. And so there's actually less people up there. People fall behind, people stop and they go back down the mountain. And so that is why you may as well set the big goal. So here's your action step for this video. Write down all your beliefs when it comes to getting straight A's or like accomplishing big goals. I think this is the one thing that we should focus on. Obviously, you can write down all your beliefs, but that'll take too long. So just write down the beliefs when it comes to grades, when it comes to school and stuff, and then really analyze them. Just write down the top 5 or the top 10 that you really genuinely believe, and ask yourself, are those true? Because I think you realize that a lot of them were just things you made up, and they've actually been keeping you stuck. And so once you realize that, you can just change it. And if you change your thoughts, you change your words. You change your words, you change the way people interact with you. You change the way you interact with yourself. And so that changes your actions. Your actions dictate your results. And so this way, you can keep on telling yourself that you will get straight A's. And if you do the actions to accompany that, it will come true. Take action. Yo, what's up? If you want my personal help to help you improve in your self-improvement journey and get the grades that you want, go check out the first link below. That's Ruff Academy, where you get exactly that. You get to hop on call to me. You get all my courses, programs, the community as well. So yeah, just check it out. There's more information once you click that link. See you there. Give me a kiss. Mwah.